Let's start with baseball.
The Padres are unbelievable. You talk about it's hot outside. The Padres are really hot.
Padres equal weather. Weather equals red hot. How about this Padre team? Now, I got a problem with the national media because I don't think very many people are paying very much attention to the Padres. I see all these things written about Aaron Judge and Yankee baseball and the Dodgers return to health. And look at what Arizona's doing. I swear to you, John, nobody is paying much attention to Padre baseball, which kind of blows my mind. The Padres have won 19 of their last 22. Haven't done that hardly ever in franchise history. But now today's a travel day going to Colorado. Tomorrow they play 18 games in 18 days. Now, granted, they start this haul against the Rockies. Granted, this 19-3 stretch for the most part has been against woebegone Colorado, threadbare Miami, and a Pittsburgh team that has caved in. The Padres are 23-4 since June against bad teams in baseball.
Hey.
So that's why they're in the race at this point in time. But I know you'll yell at me, so I'll yell at myself. Lee, it doesn't mean anything. You got to play who you're playing that day. You just got to keep winning. They're going to play some tougher people going forward. Obviously, when they come off this short series in Colorado, they come back home and they get a Twins team that's pretty good. And they got a Mets team that's feeling much better about itself. But this 19 wins in 22 games is just spectacular. I'll tell you what, they're monitoring the innings of Matt Waldron and Michael King because they have both gone over the limit they've ever pitched before. So they let King stay in there yesterday, pitched pretty efficiently, bunch more strikeouts. He's not laboring. He's not having stressful innings. They'll keep an eye on Waldron, though he's stalled a little bit. His record is now 7-9 as they go to Colorado. Take a deep breath. First outing, Joe Musgrove, thumbs up. He kept telling everybody, I have changed my motion. He looked totally different to me. A much more compact stride to the plate, less stress on the shoulder, more power from the legs. If you watch any video of Musgrove, you will see that when he comes set, his body, his contour, his delivery with the glove, it's all to the lower part of the body.
Mm-hmm.
He repeated it. I thought he pitched really well first innings off the disabled list. And there's been a Yu Darvish sighting. He is back in San Diego working on his own. Padres are not involved in his workouts, although I think they're giving him opportunities if he wishes to throw at Petco Park, maybe in the tunnels or in the bullpen, or at Point Loma Nazarene, where they have the technology to monitor him. But there's been no conversation yet. Is he ready to return? But we're getting to the 1st of September, so we'll just have to wait and see if that happens. Padres have won 19 of 22. That's great. Arizona's won 18 of 21. Damn, that's good. And the Dodgers are in first place, though the Wednesday night game was kind of shabby. Dodgers are 71-50 in getting their injured guys back healthy. John, the podium is yours.
Don't you love this? I mean,
this is so cool.
This is historic. This is the best streak they've ever been on. And you called it, by the way, because when they started this stretch of going against bad teams, you said they need to go 15-0. And by my calculation, they're 10-2 so far with 3 games left.
Yeah, I said they have to run the table on these guys so they can plant their flag in first place. Well, they're damn close. They're 2.5 out.
Yeah, isn't it awesome? And I think the last I checked, the Dodgers were losing today. So they might move up another half game. They're leading the baseball in batting average. I mean, there's been teams historically, the Padres have been good pitching, but always terrible hitting. Now they're leading the league in hitting, and it just seems like the mentality, they're going for line drives. It's not home run or bust. And you can see just the approach by guys like Jake Cronenworth, it's just really working right now.
Isn't it interesting that when we started the season and we talked on this podcast, one of the storylines was, if these guys don't win, that general manager could be gone. And we used the word accountability because ownership had used the word accountability to me a couple of times, making reference to A.J. Preller. And this thing, 19 wins out of the last 22 games, this team with this unbelievable second half record, it's a byproduct of the architect. A.J. the architect. He's the one that made all the controversial trades, shipped the farm system away to bring all these guys back in. He's the one that went out and found purposeful guys coming off the bench. I don't know where this team would be were it not for Matt Waldron in the first half of the season, where it would be without Higgy behind home plate, who was a throw-in the Yankee trade, where it would be without Donovan Solano. And how's that guy been cut by 7 different teams? And where'd they be if they didn't have David Peralta, who's now kind of found himself again? I mean, AJ is to blame for those acquisitions, just like AJ is to blame for the roster the way it's structured right now. This sounds weird coming out of my mouth based on what I said opening day. AJ Preller should get some votes for executive of the year in baseball if this thing turns out the way we hope it does.
Well, there's a potentially, I mean, we're dreaming here, but there's a lot of potential awards. I mean, even Mike Schilt, manager of the year. I mean, we can make a lot of cases. But it's just such a great vibe right now. It feels like when the Padres play, they can't lose. But to your point earlier about Michael King, he looks just really calm out there. I'm not worried about innings with him. I'm not worried about innings with Waldron. I think those guys have it all under control. I mean, the Padres are rolling, and we got to feel good about it.
19 wins last 22 games, and they get the Rocks. Now, I don't want to throw cold water on this conversation, but once they get through with the Rocks, then they start playing real people again, and they just need to continue this along.
Well, for sure. I mean, it's going to get tougher again, but I just want to comment. You were talking about, all the bench bunch and these guys off the bench. It's just making me think of our friend, Coach John Quintera.
Yeah.
You got to have veterans coming off the bench, and then the Padres have that. And man, Peralta with the other homer last night or yesterday afternoon, it was great.
Okay. We go from Padres.